Hey everyone, this is part 3 of your semester exam review. So let's have a look at some of the formulas for linear functions that you're going to need for this part of the review. So the first one, y equals mx plus b, which most of you know. The m in the formula represents slope. And another word for slope is rate of change. And we find it many different ways, rise over run, the slope formula sometimes, which you probably saw in the previous video. And we can also find the change in the y values and divide it by the change in the x values. The b represents the y-intercept of the line. The other formula, which you may not remember it a whole lot, we haven't used it a ton, but m still represents slope. And the x1 and the y1 represent a point on the line. In standard form, none of the variables represent anything, which is why we usually convert standard form into y equals mx plus b. Now, there are a few ways to go about some of these. Let's look at a table first, and most of you know by now that tables are wonderful for Desmos. So let's go ahead and put it into Desmos. We're going to hit the plus, or you can actually type the word table in here, and it creates a table for you. I love that. We type in our x's. Make sure you don't miss any negative signs or you'll get errors. 10, 7, and negative 5. And then here we are going to type in y1 tilde mx1 plus b. So we can see our m value and our b value. Now the m is a decimal, the slope is a decimal, and many times slope is written as a fraction. So here is a way to find out how it looks as a decimal. Click on the next line, type in the letter m, and it gives you that value. And then you just need to hit this fraction button here, and it will turn it into a fraction for you, negative 3 halves. So m is negative 3 halves, and b is 4. I'm going to write that down. And so now we can write our equation. Y equals mx plus b. There's our equation. Now let's go ahead and look at the real world one next to it. The real world one, we should be able to determine what kind of model we're using for it. John is filling up a vase for a centerpiece. The initial weight of the vase is 4.2 pounds. When you see the word initial or starting value or starting amount, that's your y-intercept. So our y-intercept, otherwise known as the b value in your equation, is 4.2. And then the third sentence, each pebble he puts into the vase adds 0.2 pounds to the vase. And you see the word each, that's actually kind of important. When we see the words each or every or per, that means slope. So our slope, which is the m, is 0.2 or just 0.2. And it's positive because it says the word adds. So let's write our equation. Y equals 0.2x plus 4.2. So if you're trying to find the weight of the entire vase with the pebbles in it, you would add the weight of the vase, 4.2, to 0.2 times the number of pebbles that are in the vase. All right, let's look at number 13. In this one, you are selecting the correct equation. Now, the one thing we need to know for this problem is what is the correct slope, because that will help us eliminate some of the answers that are wrong. To find slope, you need 2 points. The y-intercept is a good one, and then choose another one. From left to right is the direction we go. So we start by going up or down. from left to right, we go up 1 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. So our slope is rise 1, run 4. So let's have a look at our answer choices here. Only 2 of them have a slope of 1/4. This one and this one. So let's go ahead and eliminate these 2 answer choices. Now, a lot of people accidentally do 4 divided by 1. Remember, guys, the rise goes on top. The 1 goes on top, not the 4. Last bit, guys, is that when we look at the 2 answer choices that are left, remember, this is called point slope form. So we should be able to pull a point out of that equation. The x looks like it's a -4, but remember we use the opposite signs. So the opposite of -4 is +4. And then over here, the opposite of -3 is +3. And let's do the same thing for the other one. The opposite of +4 is -4. And the opposite of +3 is -3. Remember that the x should be going first. Now, which of those 2 points lie on your graph? So I'm going to plot them. 4, 3 is this point right here. It looks like that's it. -4, -3 is down here, and it is definitely not on the line, so it is not this one. It is A. And this is how it will look on the test. Just remember opposite signs and that x goes first. Find your slope first, really, because then you can eliminate 2 of your answer choices. All right, let's look at the next problem, number 14. What is the equation in standard form of a line that passes through these 2 points? So the first thing you should do is get it in y equals mx plus b. We never, never, never can start with standard form. We always need to start here. So we need to know what is the m and what is the b. Now you can use the slope formula to find slope, but if you have 2 points, you can make your own table and put that table into Desmos. Okay, take a moment, put it in Desmos, and check it. Okay, so you can see that I have put in the 2 points from the 2 points that were given to me, and I found that my m slope was -2, and my b value is +3, my y-intercept. So now we can write the equation. Y equals m, which is -2, x plus b, the y-intercept, which is 3. That is called slope-intercept form. I need it in standard form. Now I know you haven't done it in a while, so let's remember what standard form looks like. I'm going to write it over here to the side. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. So the x and the y have to be on the same side. Everything has to be whole numbers. Lucky us, this one already is. And the a value has to be positive, the first number. So let's move the x over. Let's start there. To get rid of a -2x, we add 2x. And then we have to add it to the other side as well. So what's left? A +2x, a +y, and then on the other side, just a +3. And there we have it. There is standard form. No fractions, wonderful. And the first number, that 2, is positive. So that's how you know that it is in standard form correctly. No fractions or decimals, all whole numbers. Alrighty, let's do 1 or 2 more, and then we'll take a break for the next part of the videos. All right, number 15. So we have a graph that represents Emily going to a carnival and then a function. So let's go ahead and determine what the y-intercept represents. So the y-intercept is where the graph touches the y-axis. So that's right here, 20. 20 what? Well, let's look at this. It says it's the amount of money. So when she went to the carnival, she started out with $20. So that would be answer choice C. That's what the y-intercept represents. Now, what does the x-intercept represent? Let's go down here to the bottom. I don't know exactly what number that is. It's somewhere between 25 and 30, but I do know that she has $0 at that point. Okay, so the x represents the number of rides when she ran out of money. The number of rides she rode before running out of money. Okay guys, I didn't work through every piece of number 17 because we've done many so far in the videos where you have to solve and get it into y equals mx plus b before you can look at the graph. So remember to subtract the x on both sides and then divide everything by what is in front of the y. Now, if you're not sure how to reduce a fraction, -2 divided by 6 here, you can go into Desmos, type in -2 divided by 6. It gives you a decimal, but when you turn it back into a fraction, just hit the fraction button and it gives you the reduced fraction of -1/3. So now we're just trying to find the correct graph that has a y-intercept of 3. So let's start there. The first graph has a y-intercept of 3, so that one's still in the running. But letter C has a y-intercept of 6, so it's definitely not that one. Okay. Now D has a y-intercept of 3. Wonderful. So D is still in the running. And then, oh gosh, this one's way up here, I think at 18. So it is definitely not B. So it is either A or D. And now we need to find the slope, the rise over run. So looking at answer choice D, it is going down 1/3. So our slope is -1/3, which is what we wanted. So this should be the correct answer. But let's double check by looking at A as well. On answer choice A, it's going down 3/1. So the slope for this one is -3 divided by 1, which is -3, a whole number. So it is not A. It is definitely D because it has a slope of -1/3 and a y-intercept of 3. All right, guys, so this is the end of this video. We'll continue with question 18 in the next one. See you later.